Y'all, y'all, y'all ready for this? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey everyone, my name is Rev Trev, and I want to welcome you to the show. I want to do a recap of week one, another crazy week in the NFL and its fantasy football season. And man, our two leagues, the greatest combination, the ones where you can get knocked down or go back up, and the show championship is the real deal, but there's nothing minor about minor league. I want to quickly recap week one for you. And so it was incredible. I don't know, let's just talk about NFL for a second. Saints Packers were supposed to be game of the week, but it was lame of the week where the Saints beat my Packers down. And we got dominated in every aspect of the game. Nobody saw that coming. Every expert on that Sunday picked Green Bay to win that game. And they came out and shocked people. Now we know that Tampa Bay lost 38-3, just like Green Bay did last year to the Saints. And they won the Super Bowl. So who knows, right? But I loved watching the Rams and Bears game. Stafford, it's free Stafford from the Lions Den. That was incredible. The thriller in Vegas in that new stadium, wow, was so incredible. Overtime, and Derek Carr goes through the guy's hands, hits the helmet, and the defender goes up, interception, you think game's over. Then Lamar Jackson fumbles, and oh my goodness, Derek Carr gets the ball back with the Raiders, and they're marching down the field, and all of a sudden, someone's wide open, and he just chucks it up and wins the game, and the stadium goes crazy. It was awesome. There were just so many great games. Chiefs, Browns, even Thursday night, Brady and Dak Prescott going nuts. What a great game. What a great weekend. It was crazy. So just like the NFL, fantasy football's crazy. You can't predict it. It's all about educated guessing. And so let's just talk quickly about week one, as you're going to see on the screen probably here. You can see that I had a massive week, 118 points. In fact, I was second leading scorer of last week. And I started out with minus 6 from Ronald Jones because he got benched, and I still disagree with that benching, by the way. And Tampa Bay defense with 2 points. That's how I started the week out on Thursday. And then I ended up with the second highest point total of the week. And up in Adams was really down, and Adams, fourth and Adams, I don't know what we should call it. You were basically the Packers, and I was the Saints. Like, you only got 54.96 points, man. I destroyed you by 63.46 points. My goodness, that was the biggest blowout beatdown of the week. The number one team was the Purple People Eaters. So the Vikings fan, Ruben, you were number one with 120 points. You beat Sheepdog, who had a really great week. 107 points was impressive. The team that everyone thought was going to be the worst team of the week was Knuckle Draggers, and he actually wasn't. He was the second worst team of the week. His draft actually started bad because he had Nyheim Hines and Aaron Rodgers, but we thought he had kind of made up for that because he did go with Barkley, and then it was Godwin and Cooper Kupp, and not bad picks, especially Barkley. But the problem with Barkley, and this is why he wasn't kept, was because they didn't know how he was going to do. They didn't even know if he was going to play the first couple weeks for the Giants. And to be honest, he probably shouldn't have. They should have just sat him down and did their thing. But anyways, they didn't do that. So struggled, of course, because of those things. And when Rodgers, that is terrible what Rodgers did. I mean, if you've seen this graphic, this is one of the worst things I've ever seen in regards to Aaron Rodgers. And so just not characteristic of him. So starting Rodgers, and he had Barkley, and it just got ugly real fast. And so Vic's Doggy Daycare, who did not have a good week, 75 points, still end up winning by almost 10. And then Uncle Rico back to his winning ways. 101, defeated Sherlock Mahomes, 88, a decent week. But champ Dr. Z only had 89 points, but he was playing Judge Judy. And let's just quickly go to that matchup and see. So, yeah, Judge Judy had Tannehill, Evans, and DeVante Adams, and it got ugly real fast. And so, no wonder, even with Dr. Z having Derrick Henry, he only got 7 points. He still ended up winning just because Judge Judy had such a bad week. Okay, so something real interesting. Just time out for a second. In both leagues, there was 2 massive trades, and both involving DeVante Adams, which absolutely blows my mind. I have him as my number 1 wide receiver. I have him and Tyreek Hill as 1A, 1B, and they are just elite to the next level. But if you think about it, Adams only had 5.6 points this week. Now, I think he's going to have a great rest of the season. I'm hoping he does. Anyways, long story to say, he was traded in the show to the Warriors for, up and Adams is his new name, for Zeke Elliott straight across, which I think is a terrible trade. Because I'm not a Zeke fan, and he didn't have a great week first against Tampa, but neither did DeVante Adams, so it's kind of a wash there. But I'm still in shock that you traded him. But I know that Gus Edwards went down with a season-long injury, and you really value Zeke, but that trade surprises me. But if we transfer over to minor league real quickly here, there's nothing minor about minor league. I pulled off a trade with Beast Mode for DeVante Adams, and so what happens? Beast Mode couldn't make the draft, missed it, and the computer drafted him Adams and Tyreek Hill in the first 2 picks, and he desperately needed a running back, and so he put it out there. I'm looking for a running back, so I literally offered him Josh Jacobs straight up, and he countered and said, I want James Robinson for DeVante Adams, and I'm like, I'll take that deal. And so next thing you know, I took it. But in that league, I didn't bear so well. In fact, Scott's team, Beached Whales, beat me 88-10, and partially of that is because I started Rodgers and Adams, and every league that I started Adams in, I think I'm in 6, 7, 8 leagues. I don't even know what I'm in. Every league that I started Adams in, I lost. And so that's the reason why, in my opinion, I lost. And then if you look at going down, hooked on a Thielen, first-year player, Blair, 132 points, beating Ed's disc golf. Yeah. So if you look at hooked on a Thielen here, my goodness, you had Brady, Cooper Kupp who went off, McCaffrey, Gibson, Hawkinson, Joe Mixon, and the Washington defense. He had the best week out of both leagues. Well done, Blair. And then Peter Day, let me just see where he was at. He's Bo Nose, and he lost a real close one, 92-96 on Cooking the Competition, which is John Mountain. So John, well done, man. Great battle there. Sneaked out the victory. And then Beast Mode with that massive trade for James Robinson, won 108-100 to Tonka. And man, that was both teams played well there. Hogs, and then lost to the Saints, Randy's team, 83-78. So just a heads up, one of the funnest things about leagues is that there is a FAB. Or FAB. No, FAB. It's FAB. And so FABs are just one of the greatest things to add. Instead of just having a waiver wire where it's just you get whoever is in the order, you can bid. You get $100 for the whole year, and you can bid. Now, speaking of Randy, He wanted Eric Mitchell, the running back out of the 49ers, and that was the most sought-after guy in all fantasy leagues. In fact, Randy spent 55 of his 100 fab on Eric Mitchell, wanted him, felt like he needed him. And so if you just look at his team here, he doesn't really need a running back, but he got one, and there you go. He's setting himself up. But if you go to the show, something crazy happened with the fab. It was the champ, Dr. Z, goes out and spent $45 on Eric Mitchell. And I put in a bid on that league for 30. Well, I had it for 40, but I dropped it down to 35. I wasn't feeling good about that. And me and DeVante Adams had the same bid of 35. We obviously lost out on that. So good for Dr. Z to get Mitchell, but then he went in this unprecedented way to go and get Gronk. He spent $30. So he's already spent 75 of his $100 this year on 2 players. And then if you look at his team going into week 2, he's not even starting Gronk or Mitchell. And so I think he's just strengthening his bench. Some people might criticize his move, but what I say is I think if this is the guys you want, if this is going to strengthen your team, your bench, maybe better trade opportunities, go for it, spend it. I've seen guys who hadn't spent a cent all year on their fab. So it's just wasted fab. So usually the first couple weeks is when you use a good chunk of it, and then you just kind of be smart about it after that. So this is a quick recap of our leagues. Obviously it's week 1, everything can change in week 2, but this is how it started, and I'm so glad you came to watch this. Glad those guys are in the leagues. Love having them in it. It's great battles every week. And just like the NFC West and the AFC West are undefeated, the NFC North is all defeated. Like, they're 0-1. And so I'm looking forward to this weekend. In fact, there's the Packers and Lions play Monday night, which I'm most excited about because I want to see the Packers turn it around. So if the Lions win, I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Obviously, hit like, comment, subscribe. And if you don't know, I have a Facebook page called Kempner Sports. Feel free to follow it. Love to interact with you there. Have a great night.